We know you have progressive clauses in the Constitution that we cannot deny. But we also have provisions that we think need to be looked at. Earlier on, I did an interview with Chronicle. They asked me about what do I think about the Constitution. I said, if the National Assembly do not have the authority, the members in the National Assembly do not have authority to touch the Constitution, and do some fine-tuning, then Honorable Abdullah Sise is not supporting the Constitution. That is my position. And I have gone through, and I have about 16 other clauses that I believe need to be reviewed, or else that is going to be the end. My people in my constituency have given me their consent, and that is what I am bringing forward. Honorable Speaker, the issue of citizenship in the draft constitution, as alluded to by my colleagues, Honorable Ture and others, they said the same thing, and I believe that provision needs to be looked at very clearly. The 1997 Constitution has given us a clear-cut provision that I believe should be the provision in this draft Constitution for us to move. But it has been changed, and that is not good for us. The term of office of President as well, Honorable Speaker, is also another thing. If you say the Constitution, when it comes into force, the two-term limit of the President will start from this transitional year, that is the 5 years, meaning you are reverting the law back. I think that is another thing that we also need to look at, Honorable Speaker. From consultation, people have not agreed on this particular provision, and as a representative, I must bring it forward for people to hear. Honorable Speaker, going forward, on the appointment of ministers as well, my colleagues have said it here. I am just going to repeat them because just to make them constructive so that people will know, these are issues that are bothering us, and I think we need to check them. For the confirmation of ministers in the National Assembly, which can always be political, we have our personal reservations to that. The revocation of appointment by the President to revoke the appointment of the Vice President or any other minister as well. That is another thing that we also need to look at, Honorable Speaker. Another section on Section 195, that is the preferential treatment of the judges as well. We have it in the Constitution, and we are not talking anything about that. You cannot have judges that are accorded privilege better than the doctors, the soldiers, and the teachers in this country. Any privilege that is given to a judge must also be given to the other side of the service sector. That is, you have the doctors, you have the teachers, you have the soldiers. They are not benefiting from this particular provision. So for me, I think that is not fair, and we should not have such provision in the Constitution. We need to look at that as well. As well as Section 195(2), that is another provision that is not giving equal opportunity to all the citizens as well. That is only concentrating more on the judiciary. So I think when the state is giving out, it has to be an equal opportunity base. Those that are representing the state in various institutions need to benefit from that. Honorable Speaker, as well as the leaders in the National Assembly, the election of Speaker in the National Assembly is also not clear. The provision is there, but we don't know how that will work. These are some of the things that are kept embedded in the Constitution, and I think they need to look at them critically. My position is this Constitution must be reviewed, and if the law is saying that we cannot touch it, Honorable is not supporting the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. On that note, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Yara East.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, first and foremost, I rise to drum of support for this important piece of legislation. Honorable Speaker, grant me leave to whet our appetite historically. Honorable Speaker, at the eve of independence, that was 17th February 1965, at the eve of independence, 17th February 1965, this country of ours was gripped by what I will call independence fever. There was much hype and jubilation that as a country we are at the threshold of being commanders of our own destiny. Honorable Speaker, there came 18th February 1965 as the D-Day when the Gambia gained her independence from the British. Honorable Speaker, the moment the Gambia was declared an independent state, the Union Jack was lowered and the Gambian flag was hoisted. Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether I'm heard because we are trying to adapt to the new normal. My mouth is gagged. Honorable Speaker, that shows that a lot of things have gone down the bridge. A lot of water have passed down the bridge. Honorable Speaker, independence of a country is very significant. Significant in the sense that it tells you that you as an entity, as a country, you are at liberty to be in charge of your own destiny. That we are no longer going to be dictated to. Madam Speaker, therefore, as an independent state, there are a lot of gains that a country is likely going to enjoy. Madam Speaker, to come to the extant issue at hand, that is the draft constitution. Today the nation is gripped with mixed feelings. Mixed feelings in the sense that the general public are saying, will they, won't they? So the country is looking at us. And Madam Speaker, I think we will do the right thing. This August Assembly will do the needful. And the needful is to give thumbs up. Is to give thumbs up to this draft constitution. Because this draft constitution, Madam Speaker, must be seen as an embodiment of the interests, wishes, and aspirations of the totality of Gambians. That's the long and short of it, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this draft constitution, as I stand to dilate on its general principles and merits, I will not dissect into the provisions enshrined unless and until it is time for Committee of the Whole House. That's the time I will dissect, study it thoroughly. Honorable Speaker, the Gambian masses are not oblivious of the fact that a lot of things happen in this country. We had the Constitutional Conference, the pre-independent talks, and the post-independent talks. And at this juncture, allow me to pay homage to our founding fathers in the passing of His Excellency, late President Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, and his lieutenants, who were deemed as the forerunners of our independence. Honorable Speaker, the independence was fought not by only men, but also by women. Women of substance, women of dignity, and men who could be described as gentlemen of the finest African tradition. I therefore want to recognize their mammoth contribution on our road to getting the Gambia enjoy internal self-government. Honorable Speaker, for this debate, we are confronted with what I will call a national conversation. And this national conversation is on the lips of every Tom, Dicky, and Harry. As a result, owing to its importance, it can be called a common refrain. It's on everybody's lips. Honorable Speaker, what is expected of us in this critical turning point of our history is to make decisions. Honorable Speaker, in making decisions, we must be guided by certain fundamental elements. That is, in as much as we are willing to make decisions, our decisions must be preceded by good judgment. Our actions must also be preceded by reasons and not emotions or sentiments. Because in this exercise, Madam Speaker, it's about nation building. And the Gambian nation is bigger than all of us. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia is the main set. And this August Assembly serves as the subset of the main set. So the main set is bigger than the subset. The Gambian masses are bigger than the Gambian National Assembly. Yes, we are at liberty, by way of arrangement, to have a say of this important national discourse. But that doesn't mean, Madam Speaker, that we can trample on the wishes and aspirations of the totality of Gambians. Honorable Speaker, unless we forget, we are engaged in epoch-making journey. We are making history. And Madam Speaker, we must be guided by the fact that history is more than the path left by the past, for it influences our present, and it has the potency to define our future as well. It has the potency to shape our future as well. So, Madam Speaker, in our quest to make that landmark history, we must all work assiduously so as to be recorded.
Honorable, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We are all guided by our standing orders as far as procedure is concerned. And I think we should all try to adhere to that. I think it's good to talk about history, historical development of everything, but I would rather you paraphrase it and then we go straight into the merits and principles of the bill. Because you've been dealing with sort of, I would term it, historical background, how we arrived at where we are today. But probably it could have been paraphrased, summarized, and then you go straight to the principles of the bill. If you can just align it, your arguments towards that angle of discourse. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I'm humble as it pleases your good office. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, time is not our best ally. I'm compelled to put my submission in a nutshell. And I thank you for guiding me. I'm humble. Honorable Speaker, why Constitution? Why do we have Constitution? And what is the meaning of Constitution? And what a Constitution is capable of doing for a country? Honorable Speaker, I think these things are very important. It goes without saying, Honorable Speaker, that the Constitution serves as the supreme law of the country. And as a result, it goes to serve as the lifeblood of any given country. Honorable Speaker, the merits of having a constitution cannot be overemphasized. Honorable Speaker, one of them, it serves to enhance good governance. It serves to enhance the rule of law. Honorable Speaker, Constitution is incompatible with dictatorship. It is in a Constitution the rights and responsibilities of the citizens are enshrined and clearly spelled out. This is why where your right stops, that's where somebody starts. We are able to have these rights or enjoy these rights because of a constitutional instrument. Honorable Speaker, this Constitution must enjoy a yes vote. You may ask me why. Because it is an embodiment of the interests, wishes, and aspirations of the totality of Gambians. So it must enjoy a yes vote. A lot of money. If my memory can serve me, 116 million. Honorable Speaker, that's a colossal sum by all standards. And I don't think this August Assembly would like to be recorded on the wrong side of history. Because history is going to judge us. And there is no way that we can escape the long arms of justice, neither can we escape the long arms of history. So therefore, in making history, let us work towards being recorded on the positive side. So that tomorrow, our children and our children's children will have a better Gambia. Honorable Speaker, yesterday I received a lot of calls from concerned Gambians, both home and abroad. And I can tell you, for the fact that they have been, calling, they are very much concerned about the Gambian situation. This is why they keep calling to make sure that we help move the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to nation building, that is not like party A or party B. All of us share a common denominator, and that is we are all Gambians. We all have the same ID card. And that's why we are discussing Gambian matter. This is a Gambian matter. It must be seen within that lens. It must be approached in a non-partisan manner. We must be impartial in our deliberations, and above all, to be guided by Section 112 of the 1997 Constitution. That is, whatever we are doing, whether within or outside the confines of this parliament, We must be guided by national interest and consent. That is the only thing. So, throwing this draft constitution under the bus, may God forbid, it means we are throwing the wishes and aspirations of our fellow compatriots. And that will not go well. That will not go well for us. And we should talk less of the money that has been invested. But we must be here to strengthen the voices of our people. Because the long and short of representation, Madam Speaker, is to transform the fantasies of our people into realities. And if this draft constitution gets a yes vote, it means we have transformed, in no small measure, the wishes and aspirations of our electorate. Honorable Speaker, I have some honorable members talking about being asked not to give a stamp of approval to this important draft constitution. Honorable Speaker, we are politicians, and I want to use my skills here to convince them to give a yes vote to this constitution. Honorable Speaker, I am not oblivious of the fact that you can take a horse to the pond, but you can never force the horse to drink. But this time I'm ready to force you to drink. It's not poison. Drink. It's not poison. Drink it, if you trust me. I have taken mine, but I need to take yours as well. I have no qualms with our divergent opinions. It is normal. But lest we forget, Madam Speaker, this draft constitution contains a multiplicity of opinions. The CRC have toured the length and breadth of this country. They have sounded the opinions of every Tom, Dick, and Harry, principally for them to have, a very good opinion, an opinion that could be described as undiluted, unblemished, and Gambian for that matter. And I think, Madam Speaker, for us to reject this draft constitution, that will tantamount to an abomination. May God forbid. You should make history, but make sure you make good history. Honorable Speaker, I think by dint of this small politicking, I have convinced the leftists to be called the right wings now. I think they are now convinced, and I believe fervently, all of them will give a thumbs up to this constitution. This draft constitution needs only one thing, and that is a clean bill of health for it to navigate smoothly without any let or hindrance. And I could see in the eyes of my honorable colleagues that they are all patriotic sons and daughters of this great country. And if there is any motivation, I can tell you, it has to do with your patriotic sentiment. That's the only driving force. You are not forced to accept something that could be called an alien constitution, but this is Gambian constitution. Honorable Speaker, when I was in the primary school, I was told that democracy means by the people, for the people, and of the people. And I can tell you, so is this constitution. It's by the people, for the people, and of the people. So please, let us have country at the forefront. Let the interest of the country supersede whatever parochial interest you might have. It is about the Gambia. And all of us are part of that set. That's why we are considered as the subset. So the Gambian people are the main set. So let us make sure that we accept this draft constitution. Because remember, Gambians are the architects. They will be the architects of this draft constitution by way of referendum. And I have no doubt in my mind, the amount of money human capital that has been injected into this constitutional building will not go in vain. It will not go in vain. Honorable Speaker, I think honorable members have got me and they have heard me very clearly that the Constitution is our own Constitution. It's not something that is alien. And I have no doubt in my mind that after thorough scrutiny, we are going to give a yes vote to this Constitution. Because remember, the government people are very much concerned. They are not concerned about the money that has been invested, but they are concerned about ousting their wishes and aspirations into the dustbin of history. And I don't think we'll do that, Madam Speaker. I want to be counted for having voted for this draft Constitution. And I want you to be counted as well. I am ready. Are you ready? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Honorable Member for Sandu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor to also take part in these debates. Honorable Speaker, first of all, I want to register my sincere gratitude to the chairman or chairperson of CRC and also to the Ministry of Justice for coming up with this document. Honorable Speaker, we've argued here that CRC has cited reference or quote from other constitutions. But I'm sure those arguments, if they have a base, is very little. Because in academia, it's not illegal to cite reference or quote from someone. Because all knowledge, whatever you want to come up, if you want to come with a new knowledge, Honorable Speaker, you must use the existing knowledge. And those existing knowledge, how can you come up with a new knowledge? Is through research. And if you are researching, you must use somebody's document. So if you go to academia, you want to write your thesis or your project, you do not come with knowledge. You have to make that research. And the research is you have to go through somebody's work so that you can also get an idea how to come with a new idea. So I don't think there is a base where we can subject these two until we come with a conclusion that we are going to reject this draft constitution. There are other salient points in this constitution if you base your argument on those. Honorable Speaker, and also the constitution, the draft before us here, is not for an individual. We are coming in with this document to strengthen our institutions. So if you talk about National Assembly has been given power, it's not the members, but the institution that has been empowered to do their work. Because when Mahanera is an MP today, but tomorrow somebody also can come. So it's not that to safeguard Mahanera alone in that seat, because the seat does not belong to Mahanera, it belongs to the people of Sandu. And the people of Sandu also have their thought in this constitution, or this draft constitution. So it's only, if you look at, you make research, the most reluctant people on earth, I can say, is with Africans, because we are always reluctant to change. And if you don't change, we cannot progress. You cannot just be sitting at one place and you be talking that the world is moving, but we are still behind. Why? Because we are reluctant to change. Like me now, it will cost me any means to make sure that I stay on this seat. This seat does not belong to me, it belongs to the people of Sandu. So why are you reluctant? You have to work for people if you don't want to be subjected to removal. So the Constitution definitely is not for an individual, it's for the offices, and our aim is to make sure that our institutions are strengthened, the efficacy that we are looking for is achieved. Honorable Speaker, with those remarks, so I will now look to the importance of this Constitution to our institutions. Honorable Speaker, why I have some objection to this Constitution is that if you live for a purpose. And as a Muslim, I have gone through this constitution. There are certain terms in this constitution that I'm definitely not happy with. Because we all have been talking about secularism, that it has to be in this, some says it's supposed not to be in the constitution, but some say it should be in the constitution for protection. But we can see that again in a way where secularism is embedded in this constitution. And for me as a Muslim, I'm not going to support that. If you go to section 49, that allow me to quote, every person has the right to freedom of conscience, religious thought, belief, and opinion. 2, every person has the right, either individual or in communities, with others in public or private, to manifest and practice any religious or belief without any interference by the state. The secularism, I think, was talking about it in the 1997 Constitution. And it continues 3 up to 4. Honorable Speaker, if you also go to right to marry and found a family, in 1997 Constitution, the way it was framed there is different in this Constitution as well. And for me as a Muslim, definitely I prefer next world than this world. So there will nothing that will lead me to do something that tomorrow, when I'm to be accounted for, there's nobody who will be there, either president or minister or whatever, to guarantee you that you will not be accountable for and you will be accountable for. That is, a man and a woman of full age and capacity have the right to marry and found a family, and such marriage shall be based on the free and full consent of the man and the woman. So now, if you say a man, that is a set. If you say a woman, it's a set. So it means, unless maybe the Honorable Minister can definitely go and make this person clear to me that a man and a woman, fine. A man and a woman, they say a man and a woman. So these two sets now means 2 people from that set can marry, or 2 people from this other set also can marry. So which means still now, the gay marriage that we were talking about, to me, is still in this constitution. Unless otherwise, the minister is able to justify that, to make me believe that it does not mean that the legal interpretation of this clause. Yes, Honorable, you can go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, if we look at the 1997 Constitution, it says under section 27, men and women of full age.
Honorable, I didn't realize that he... Is it an observation? I want to get my records right.
Yes, clarification, yes.
Pardon?
Yes, clarification.
It's an observation?
Yes, observation. Yes. And he has allowed me to do that. That section 27 of the 1997 Constitution says that men and women of full age and capacity shall have the right to marry and found a family. So essentially, we are saying the same thing in this one. And I think we must be careful in interpreting again. Thank you.
I don't even think that our role is to interpret here. We are not interpreters, but at least let us state the facts as they are. Now, Wasal, what you want to make, are you on a point of order? Or?
Honorable Speaker, yes.
No, just a second. I need to take him. Let me ask him first.
I want to observe.
No, first of all, are you on a point of order or observation? Pardon?
Done.
Observation.
I think it's clear now what the Honorable Member for Serekunda has just said. And also said it very clear that unless the Honorable Minister is able to justify, because I don't know the meaning, I'm just asking if when he comes to the podium, whether he can justify this section for us, what it means. I'm not interpreting, I'm just making a comparison between the two. Thank you very much for that observation. No, let me just continue. Okay. All right, good, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Member for Serekunda. You can see it now, like what I was saying, nobody is born with knowledge. You must get knowledge from other people. Honorable Speaker, this section, all right, I will leave it to the Honorable Minister can elaborate more on that. And Honorable Speaker, right to property. What I've seen here is only government or states that may forfeit property from someone in the illegal way. But, Honorable Speaker, right to property, we have been experiencing a lot of problems in our area, especially in the rural areas. Now, the Honorable Minister, if this constitution definitely is in line with our criminal laws, if you go to our areas, Honorable Speaker, the theft cases in this in URR is rampant. And what happened, if somebody has right to his own property and somebody just come and steal that property from you, then the legal procedures is that that person, you should not touch the person. But at the end, those people, why are they even going ahead to make sure that they also do something to those people is because our justice system. You take somebody to court, at the end of the day, you are frustrated, you use money, you pay lawyers, so at the end of the day, you only forgive your case. So with that note, Honorable Speaker, I think this constitution also should try and address that not only government, but also as an individual, you have your property, you should not give liberty to people when they come and steal, and you still said, no, they should not be touched because of human rights. It's true. Everybody has right. You have right to steal my property. So I don't have right to do anything. I also have right to my property. So it's happened there just recently in Sandu. We are having so many problems like that, Honorable Speaker. Okay, thank you. Minister, all right. So, Honorable Speaker, with these points, definitely if the Honorable Minister will be able to convince me on this, I don't have any problem with this constitution, only to let it go. And my stand is if those areas can be addressed, can the Minister convince me on those ones, definitely I will vote for yes, so that this constitution will go to the next stage, because I'm representing the people of Sandu. If I'm here to exercise my right and scrutinize this document, I don't see any way that I can also seize their right from them, because they also have right to go and exercise on this draft constitution, that is on the referendum. And also, I would tell members, still now the parliament has power to do something with this. Because people are saying parliament has no power, fine. Because in our standing orders, you can see that from this stage now, it's either go to the next stage, either we refer it to committee. The committee also can engage, so that anything that we don't want here, we can discuss with the ministry or CRC and see how best we can fine-tune this one. But we will not definitely at this stage to drop this constitution, and definitely I don't see any reason that we should do that. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Opanyomi, I've been listening for the past 15 minutes. You were not around.